Thanks for joining me again about Helicobacter. It's Eric Backer, naturopath from New Zealand. We're going to talk about the discovery of H. pylori. It's quite an interesting story. And it all started really in Australia, the country where I was born. So if we go back now probably to the 1970s, there was a doctor called Dr. Robin Warren, who was born in 1931. And Dr. Warren, I still believe he's alive today, probably be in his late 70s. He is an internal specialist, so he's a digestive specialist doctor. And what he basically discovered is many people with gastric problems have this particular bacteria. So he started to look at lots of samples of gastric fluid from people with ulceration of the stomach, and he found, particularly down the antrum, down the bottom part of the stomach, this curved shaped sort of a bacteria that they really didn't have any idea what it was. So, what he also noticed was every time they found this bacteria, they found inflammation of the stomach area. That's very crucial information, which we'll talk about later. So Robin Warren discovered this, but then Barry Marshall, who is a friend of Robin's, got very excited and interested in this. So what they did is they got 100 patients with stomach problems, and they took biopsies, and they found that over 80% of these people, particularly if they had ulceration, had this bacteria, which was initially called Campylobacter pylori, but later got called Helicobacter pylori. But the crucial finding, as I mentioned before, was the inflammation. So what Doctors Marshall and the other doctor, Dr. Warren, discovered was they could, give antacids and drugs to these people and eradicate the symptoms, but it would always come back again. And only when they eradicated the bacteria with different kinds of antibiotics, which we now call triple therapy, only when they successfully pulled those numbers right down and the inflammation went away, that's when the digestive symptoms significantly improved in the patient. So later on, they tried to discuss their findings, but basically they were ridiculed for a long time until Dr. Barry Marshall infected himself with a test tube of this stuff and basically developed the inflammation. So he had an endoscopy performed, which is basically a camera down into the stomach, into an internal digestive examination, which revealed he was clear, there was nothing in there. Then he infected himself with the tube of the Helicobacter, developed inflammation, and consequently got rid of it with an antibiotic. And from that day, now it's absolutely, doctors are for sure that most gastric ulceration comes from Helicobacter infection. But what I'm discovering in my clinic, that many people, in fact, have symptoms of Helicobacter infection, but they don't really have Helicobacter upon diagnosis. We'll talk about that later on, which is very mysterious. And many of these patients improve significantly once we start treating for bacteria of the upper digestive system. So my suspicion is there are many different kinds of bacteria, apart from H. pylori, that live potentially in different people. And I think in years to come, we'll start noticing that bacteria, different kinds of bacteria, can live in many parts of the digestive system that currently we're ignoring. So that's a little bit about doctors, Marshall, Dr. keep forgetting his name, Dr. Barry Marshall and Dr. Robin Warren. So I think they got the conjoined, or they both together got the Nobel Prize in 2005 for their discovery, which is incredible. I'm just looking at my other computer here, and there's a saying I really like from a guy who got the Nobel Prize in 1937. Discovery consists of seeing what everybody has seen and thinking what nobody has thought. How's that? Everybody would have seen the stomach inflammation, but nobody would have thought that bacteria could have been possibly causing the problem. Meet me in the next video, and we're going to be talking about the signs and symptoms of H. pylori infection. Thank you.